Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. As you guys can probably tell, there's a little bit of a different setting right now. I'm actually back home in Toronto and I'm so excited, alhamdulillah. I wanted to show you guys something really cool that I've just released over in my shop. I just released my first ever coloring book. This is her. She's so beautiful. Here's an example of some of the illustrations that we have, which is really cool. So you guys can actually take my art home and recreate it in your own way, inshallah. So that's what I did. Just ordered some new pencil crayons that I can play around with because I'm also gonna be coloring, inshallah. I had to learn these things myself. When I tell you guys, my mid to early 20s were very much a struggle. I was dealing with grief and just like so many other tests, losing friends, you know, moving to a different country. There's just been so many things that I've definitely gone through. Being now a little bit under a year away from turning 30. If I had an older sister, I wish I knew these things. And when I tell you guys, it gets so much better. It gets so much better, alhamdulillah. So I just wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I've actually written down in my journal. Be scared and do it anyway. Don't let fear stop you from uncovering the version of yourself that you didn't even know existed. Why should you not be scared? Because the time is gonna pass anyway, so why not go for it? I used to really allow myself to let fear take over me, and wallahi, there were so many life opportunities and things that have come my way that I rejected because I was so scared to go through with them. You don't want to live the rest of your life in a state of regret thinking, oh my gosh, what would my life have been like if I just took that chance, if I just did the thing that I wanted to do, if I just went and followed my gut. You don't want to live the rest of your life resenting the fact that you actually didn't try. Isn't it a lot better for you to have failed, but at least knowing that you've tried and set out for the thing that you wanted to do and just realize, you know what, it actually wasn't for me, but at least I tried. Whoever it is that sold us the idea that your 20s are supposed to be the best years of your life actually lied to us, and that is like the biggest lie and is a scam, okay? Your 20s are not actually supposed to be the best years of your life. For some people it is, but I can tell you right now, for the majority of us, it isn't. A lot of us are tested, especially in 2024, whether it's financially, people are finding it really difficult to find jobs, people are finding it very difficult to maintain relationships. I just feel like right now the climate is so different to what it was like 10 years ago. I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that we also glorify our youth and we put being young, yes, we put being young as being the best thing ever, and we're so terrified of aging. And I think that's a big part of it as well, because as everyone has told me, everyone that I know who's in their 30s has said your 30s are actually usually the best decade of your life. So yeah, just remember that. Life is not a one size fits all, and I feel like this narrative that's being sold to us that your 20s are supposed to be the best time of your life is so harmful, because what if it isn't? Then what? And I think that's what leads people to spiral, because they start to compare themselves and they start to make themselves believe that if they don't achieve the things that they're supposed to achieve in that time period, then their life is over. And that's just so completely wrong, because your 20s are meant for building, your 20s are meant for exploration. Also, it puts a lot of pressure. We are not in control of the outcome for anything in our lives. We do the best that we can, we tie our camel, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make things easy for us, but otherwise we have no control over how things come out or what the outcomes of things are. And I find that a lot of the times, the more you plan things out, yes, it will lead you somewhere, but you don't know what the end result will be, and sometimes it takes you into a completely different path. So when you have that mindset, it will actually shape your future in a completely different way, and it will actually give you the fuel that you need to ensure that you succeed in life, inshallah, and that you don't have that negative mindset that's actually pushing you further away from your dreams and your goals. Strive to try our best to actually just live a good life, inshallah. One of the things that I did a lot in my early 20s was really holding myself back from things I actually felt like I wasn't good enough, which is really surprising because I thrived in a lot of different areas like my schooling and my work. But for some reason, deep inside, I really thought that I wasn't good enough. And it was because I set these guidelines for myself that I felt like I needed to meet. And if I didn't meet those guidelines in terms of what my life was supposed to look like, then I failed. And that was probably the worst mentality I could have ever placed on myself, because all it did was create pressure. And when those timelines weren't met, which of course was bound to happen because I'm not the controller of life and how things turn out, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who controls everything. It did affect a lot of the decisions that I made in my life. For example, choosing to go into a very traditional health sciences rather than pursuing my dream, which has always been art. But I did end up doing that just a little bit later. Holding yourself back from the things that you want to do because you feel like you don't have time is only going to cause you harm, because at the end of the day, being in your 20s is the perfect time to really explore things. And it's also the perfect time to not just explore yourself, but actually be able to make mistakes. And I'm not saying you can't make mistakes in your 30s and your 40s, your 50s. We're human beings, but you can make as many mistakes as you would like and actually learn from them. And that is going to build you to become a better version of yourself as you grow along in life. If you want something, you need to ask for it, okay? Closed mouths do not get fed. And that is something that I have taken with me and I still continue to talk about. Ask for the things that you want. You need to go for it. You need to take that risk, and being quiet and shying away from taking risks is not going to take you far. You're going to be in the same place, and that's something I had to learn the hard way, because I had so many opportunities where I could have asked for things. I found that was something that I really struggled with, and I had to unlearn that. For example, the people that I know in my life who did speak up for the things that I wanted, whether it was in my career, whether it was in school, whether it was just in life in general, got so much out of the things that they wanted because they actually asked for it. And I've learned that I will never be quiet now. Like, if there's something that I want, I'm gonna talk. So closed mouths do not get fed. Don't allow yourself to shrink into fear and make yourself believe that you're not worthy of asking for the things that you want. Stop comparing yourself to other people, and stop comparing your successes and your failures to other people and using that as a metric to see how far you can get in life. You know when they say comparison is the thief of joy? I swear to you, that is the absolute truth, because as soon as you start to compare your life to somebody else's based off of what you just see, based off of what people choose to show you. So for example, on social media, a lot of us choose to share the good, you know, not many people choose to be vulnerable, and a lot of us just choose to share the good in our lives. And if you use that as a basis for seeing, you know what, this person is, you know, so successful in her career, she's married, she's, you know, checked off all of the things that I want, and I'm not there yet, and you let that affect you, you are really going to set yourself up for failure. Because I can tell you this 1000%, the grass is never always greener on the other side, and you actually don't know what people are going through. People are struggling just as much, just in different ways, and we all are going to succeed in our own ways, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. It's just that it's based on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's timing, and the sooner that you're able to understand that, the more you'll be content with your life and be more grateful and showcase gratitude for what you do have and how far you have come. I have hope and conviction that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give me the things that I want, and so all I'm doing in this moment is working towards the things that I want and actually enjoying the process. Because if I enjoy the process, it makes the end goal so much sweeter. And what other people are doing, it has nothing to do with me. We're not all supposed to have the same exact life, the same exact timelines, the same exact goals. That's just not how things work. We're all diverse and we're all different. The sooner you're able to realize that, you will actually be able to enjoy life and enjoy where you're at. And yes, I know for a lot of us it's actually very difficult because we might be tested very differently. You know, maybe you're tested with your wealth and you're finding it very difficult to get out of that rut, and you're comparing yourself to people who, let's say, are showcasing their successes. And the sooner you're able to separate yourself from other people, the more successful you're going to be, inshallah. And while you're in that process, always remember to showcase gratitude. So pitying yourself and self-loathing and putting yourself down and talking to yourself negatively doesn't help at all either. You know, how you water yourself is going to showcase what type of a flower you become. If you really speak to yourself negatively, that is really going to showcase on the outside, and people actually see that. People really pick up on energy, pick up on confidence. And so if this is how you feel about yourself, why would anybody else want to take you seriously? Try to avoid, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, really putting yourself down, and remember that you are so beautiful and so unique. There's only one of you. You are one of one, and there are so many things that make you so special that a lot of people might wish that they had characteristics or traits that you have that they wish they had. Choose who you spend your time with wisely, okay? This is something I wish I knew early on, because subhanallah, a lot of the people that I chose to have in my life in my early 20s and my mid 20s were there for a season. They weren't there for a lifetime. I learned from them. I got to enjoy being in their presence. I remember I used to hang out with people, and I would leave the outing or leave hanging out with them feeling so bad about myself. I felt so negative. I felt really icky, and my heart would feel so heavy. And wallahi, I really had to sit with myself and ask myself, okay, what is it? Am I the problem? Is it my friends? Is it our environment? Like, what is it that's making me feel like this? And why do I feel like having these group of friends is really affecting my progress in life and the things that I want? Even bigger things like my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I quickly learned that that was something that really affected me. And when I made the decision of being a lot more intentional about my friendships, that is when I felt like I was able to turn a whole new leaf. Having friendships and people that ground you is so important. And remember that you deserve to spend your time with people who love you and cherish you. Save your money. Okay, save your money. That is a big one. Just because something is trending, just because something is new, ask yourself, is this something that I can buy twice? Is it something that I actually need, or is it something that I want? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't spoil yourself with these things, but I feel like right now especially, a lot of us spend money shamelessly and foolishly when we know that that money could be going elsewhere, for example charity, or investing, or to help our families, or to invest in ourselves. We just need to be a lot more careful. I just wish I knew this in my early 20s. Don't sleep on trusting your gut. There is a fly here that keeps bothering me. I think it came because I opened the balcony, but she gotta go, like for real. Your gut never lies. Whatever it is that your gut is telling you is more likely than not true, and that is your intuition telling you that something is not right or something is right. Go with your gut. You're not asking for the impossible, you're just asking the wrong person. You heard what I said, right? You're not asking for the impossible, you're just asking the wrong person. It's okay to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. Allow that fear of rejection and the fear of failure. That opportunity is actually going to allow you to grow so much. So don't let that stop you from the things that you want in life. Stop oversharing. Yeah. Stop sharing every single thing that's happening in your life. Stop sharing all the good news, the bad news, whatever it is. Stop oversharing, okay? Your life is not, you are not CNN. You need to stop sharing. Stop oversharing. And it just might be that you told the wrong person things that you shouldn't have told, and now it's gonna bite you in the butt. Be very, very careful with who you choose to share news with, whether it's good or bad, because not everybody has your best interest at heart. So you will outgrow people, and that's fine, because not everybody is meant to be in your life forever. And I say this a million times because it's literally my favorite quote, but people come for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And that's just how life is. There are so many people that I've met in my life who are incredible people, but unfortunately our friendships did not last, and that's just how life is. Your turn is coming, inshallah. Just allow it to happen when it's supposed to happen. Have tawakkul and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and just know that it will happen when it's supposed to happen. This one's really, really big, and it took a lot of time to understand, but learning to love your own company is so important. And I feel like I really got into this a lot more in the last, I want to say, 4 years since I moved to the UK and moved away from home, because I was really forced to be alone, and I had to really learn to love being by myself and enjoy my own company. And that completely changed my life. And I'm not necessarily trying to glorify, you know, going on solo dates and not having company, but learning to also love being by yourself and not having to rely on people to keep you entertained and to fulfill you, right? Eating healthy and taking care of your body is actually super, super important, because your body is going to slow down at some point. You need to wisely choose what you want to do with it while you still have that choice. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. And that was a hard one for me to do. And that's something I'm still kind of struggling with even at 29, because I used to tell myself that I could do everything, that I have so many interests, you guys. I literally feel like I could have 50 hobbies. I have so many hobbies and interests that sometimes I feel like I can do everything, and I put way too much on my plate. And I feel like that's what's led me to go through burnout so many times. But I realized that while I am capable of doing a lot of things, I can't necessarily do everything, and I need to be okay with pouring my time into the things that I'm going to prioritize and choose the few interests that I have to prioritize. And doing that also allowed me to pour into things and put my mind and focus into the hobbies and interests I wanted to prioritize, and allowed me to really thrive and grow into them, rather than pouring, let's say, 2% into 5 different hobbies and interests that I couldn't actually grow and thrive in, if that makes sense. Whether people like you or not is none of your business. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Whether people like you or not is none of your business. I know there's people right now who probably watch this video that hate me, 100%. There's probably people who look at me and just hate me, and there's probably people who look at me and love me. There might be people who even look at you and think she's really unattractive, and someone else who might look at you and think she literally is the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my entire life. You can't control how people perceive you. You can't control how people perceive you. You can't work your entire life trying to convince people to see you the way that you see yourself. How they perceive you is how they perceive you. They're in their own world. You are the main character of your own world. You should only care about how you think about yourself. You need to put yourself in situations that make you very uncomfortable, and allow yourself to be okay with being outside of your comfort zone. Usually the things that are most difficult are the things that are actually worth having. So the more you put yourself in situations that actually test your ability. For example, networking opportunities, going out to hangouts with new friends, things like that. Allow yourself to actually be in these settings, because you never know the people that you're going to meet and the opportunities that will come to you, but also the people that you learn from. I love people so much, and I feel like when I'm in new settings, I really learn a lot more from them. And this is something that I heavily regret, because I know when I was in university, I didn't join clubs, I didn't join, you know, student union, things like that, because I was so anxious meeting new people and was really scared to put myself out of my comfort zone, and that really prevented me from meeting so many people that I could have been friends with till today. But unfortunately, that was something that I did not do, and I felt like that could have been something that allowed me to grow. Definitely don't hold yourself back from joining clubs, meeting people, and putting yourself in situations that you would normally feel uncomfortable in, because I promise you, you will see parts of yourself that you're like, wow, like, I'm so glad I decided to go to this. I'm so glad that I decided to engage with these people. Learn to have boundaries. And you know what? When I was younger, I ain't got no boundaries. I let people walk all over me. I let people say what they wanted to say to me. Like, I have so many stories, you guys, where I just allowed people to say what they wanted, and I was so afraid of conflict, and I never really stood up for myself. I just let things be, and I used to tell myself Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was gonna deal with it, but in reality that ended up just hurting myself, because it really showed that I didn't really respect myself growing up. And that was a huge issue, because I did not place those boundaries, and my focus was more on people pleasing and making sure that other people were comfortable and that I was catering to other people, and it just ended up harming me in the end. So really learn to establish boundaries and set them out, and let people know what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate from the jump. That will actually also allow you to understand who actually cares about your boundaries and who's willing to respect them and who isn't. That is pretty much everything. I'm actually going to end the video here, because I'm starting to feel really under the weather, really hot. I drank so much water and I still feel really sick. So I will be answering the questions, inshallah, that you guys have sent over. We'll do more of a girl chat for that video, because you guys asked some incredible questions, and I do want to answer them, and I do have answers for them, but I want to save it for another video, inshallah, because I'm really under the weather. I will be vlogging bi'idhnillahi ta'ala when I feel a little bit better, all of the things that I'm going to be up to in my hometown, inshallah. I hope, inshallah, that you guys found this video helpful. If you did, of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Keep me in your du'as. Don't forget to get yourself a coloring book. Yeah, I want to see you guys with your coloring book. I will put the link in my bio, inshallah. And that's that. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.